Hello and welcome to your April 2022 Tarot Scopes with me, Intuitive Rene. As always, such an honor and a privilege to be here with you and to bring you this content to keep you motivated, inspired, and focused on whatever is necessary for the month of April 2022. So, tarot scopes are always so much fun for me. We're sticking with the same format that we have used for the last couple of months. So we're doing a detailed spread, detailed layout, giving you guidance to help you navigate through the month ahead. So we're looking at April, month number 4. It is just quite mind-blowing how quickly 2022 is going. And I hope that you are managing to get through it fairly unscathed, fairly successful in whatever it is that you are doing for the time being. So if you are a returning subscriber or returning viewer to my channel, welcome. Thank you so much for your love and support. Always means the world to me to have you return. And if you are a new visitor to my channel, welcome to you as well. I do hope that you enjoy it here and that you do consider subscribing to the channel to make sure that you see all the content that is available. So let's talk tarot scopes for a second. What are they? So tarot scopes are videos that I create towards the end of the previous month for the following month. So the time of recording these videos will be like the last week in March, and I release them in that time period so that you have them before the new month starts, so that you can be prepared, so that you can watch to see what the month ahead has in store for you, so that you can prepare yourself, brace yourself if necessary, so that you can take advantage of the energies that are around you. The tarot scopes, there are 12 individual videos done, and they are all completely different. I stick with the same kind of layout. I use the same spread, so it's the same questions that we're asking. I use the same deck, but obviously the readings are so different for each sign of the zodiac. This intro I recorded once and I stick it in the front of each of the 12 videos just to save myself repetitive talking. And I do set the intention with the tarot scopes that they be relevant for your sun sign, for the moon sign, and for your rising sign. So if you do know that much information about yourself, if you are familiar with your natal chart and you do have that, you're welcome to watch a couple more of the videos to get different aspects or different insights to who you are and what you're dealing with for the month of April. I also then strongly encourage you to come back to the video during the month of April. So halfway through, like, closer to the end or whatever it may be, when any time that you're facing a challenge or any time that you're facing a quandary, find yourself in a bit of a pickle, come back to the video, because you will certainly find some inspiration that might help you to make the decisions or the changes, or to make the movements in whichever direction you need to. So I do encourage you to come back. The video never gets taken down. It's always here. The months in question, so like now we're doing April, I will have the April videos highlighted on my YouTube channel. So if you're wondering about how to find it, you just go to youtube.com, you do a search for Intuitive Rene, and on my page you will see the April tarot scopes will be visible. And if you want to look at the past month, if you go, once you're on my YouTube channel, go to the playlists, you will see these, that they're all there. All the previous month's playlists, they're all there for you. So I do each month in a separate playlist just so that I can highlight it and make it easier for you to find. So what decks am I going to be working with today? Well, for our April tarot scopes, I'm going to be working with the Gilded Tarot Royale. I love the Gilded Tarot, I really do. So I have the Gilded Tarot Royale, and this is by Ciro Marchetti. I'm going to be working with his deck. I do have the little mini on hand as well, just in case we need some clarifiers. So we have the two. I love working with these, what I call tarot families. So I've got those two. And then I have the Oracle deck that I want to work with, is this one, which is a combined Oracle deck. It's got 2 decks in it, both by the same person. I think Wendy Andrews is her name. I hope I haven't got it wrong. So this is the Goddess Dream Oracle, and the Goddess Love Oracle. So you can see that they are, I'm looking for a purple, there we go. So you can see I've got the yellow and the purple. So the one is the Goddess Dream Oracle and the other one is the Goddess Love Oracle, and I have combined them into a single deck, which means that double the gorgeousness, double the gloriousness. So those are the decks that I'm going to be working with. I am going to switch the camera around, so you will see my table. You will have a top-down view of the cards, so that it just means that less of my face and more of the important stuff. So I will swap the camera around so that you get to see onto the table, see the cards as they are, lay them all out, and give you all the information that you need to keep you motivated and inspired for the month of April. So if you enjoyed the video, please do consider giving it a thumbs up. By doing that, by engaging with the video, by giving it a thumbs up and a little comment below, basically what you're doing is you're telling YouTube that this is good content and that they should recommend it to other people. And that's the best way to support me and to ensure that I'm able to continue bringing you this free content. And if you haven't already done so, maybe consider joining my YouTube channel memberships. For a small monthly fee, you get access to me. I'm a poet. We do all sorts of interesting things on the YouTube channel membership. So if you click, wrong side, if it should be just down there, click the join button. There'll be all sorts of information explaining the different tiers, the different layouts, what you get, what you don't get. All of that information is there. So do consider joining. I've got quite a beautiful, wonderful group of people who do subscribe and do support the work that I do in that way. And I do so value and appreciate each one of them. I'm going to stop babbling because you are here to find out about April. You are not here for my awful sales pitch. My awful sales pitch. So friends, as I said, I'm going to swap the camera around. We're going to get onto your zodiac and we're going to give you all the information that you need. Let's get going. Sagittarius, let's get into your reading and let's have a look and see what the month of April has in store for you. As you can see, I'm shuffling the Oracle deck. This is the deck that's going to give us the theme for the month ahead, for month of April 2022, for all Sagittarius energy. Okay, cards are shuffled and I'm going to cut them over there. I want that one in the middle. And that's going to be your card for the month. Let's have a look and see what your theme for April is. Sagittarius energy. We've got care. And it's saying to you, be gentle with yourself. So that's interesting. So immediately I'm loving how she is embracing the little fox. I'm loving how the fox is quite comfortable and quite settled with her, and so is she, even though there's all sorts of things going on in the background, but she's quite comfortable, she's quite settled. But what she's doing is she's allowing herself to receive love, to receive energy, to receive healing from the fox. So she is nurturing the fox and the fox is nurturing her. It's a give and take kind of situation, which I think is really beautiful. Being gentle with yourself, I think, is really important. So Sag, obviously things are going to happen during the month. We don't know yet what. We're going to shuffle the tarot. We'll get that information from the tarot. But whatever happens during the month of April, one thing that is quite clear and quite evident coming through here is that you do need to be gentle with yourself. You do need to be kind with yourself. And that you do need to maybe not be so strong with our expectations and the pressures of life. Okay, so tarot is shuffled. Actually, I am deciding I want to do a little bit more. So let's just do a riffle and then we will carry on. Just to make sure that we are resetting the energies and the cards completely. Okay, done. Happiness. Now, cut the deck over there. I'm going to lay out all 12 cards first. Or have I got the whole deck upside down? I do indeed. Let's put the cards down. I know the coloring is so dark. I have been struggling with the view, the colors of the deck for the last couple of videos. It's like it's the last couple of zodiacs, I should say, not videos. It's because we've got a bit of a grey day outside and it is interfering with my lighting in the office. So let me just lay out all 10 cards and then we will discuss further what's going on for Sagittarius energy in the month of April. Right, all the cards are there. So, Sag, we're coming into the month. Now, remembering our theme is care and taking care of yourself. But we're coming into the month with the High Priestess energy. I mean, she's beautiful. Just love this card. She really is gorgeous. I want you to note that she is being led by her heart. Okay, I want you to notice that her head is leaning back. her eyes are closed, and she's just being guided by her heart center. And I think this is telling you, Sag, that you're going to come into the month looking like this, feeling like this, responding like this, reacting like this. You're going to come into April feeling like you've got everything figured out, that you know exactly who you are, and what you're doing. And with an element of trust, okay? Because that's what comes through with this card so strongly, is trusting self, trusting your own innate knowledge and ability, but trusting that you've got everything figured out the way that it needs to be figured out, which is amazing, okay? Really amazing that you have that kind of trust element going for yourself. But the fact that we've got care as an overall theme is also saying that we mustn't be too quick with the trust. Now, we're obviously going to allow the rest of the cards to talk more, but you're coming into April feeling super confident, feeling like, you know what, you've got all this figured out, you know exactly who you are, you know exactly what you are, and it is just about trusting yourself in the particular situation. And there's nothing wrong with that kind of, trusting of self, trusting of your own abilities, trusting of your own knowledge. Absolutely nothing wrong with that, Sage. The challenge that we have, though, for you, okay, looking at this particular card, this is the card that is challenging you during the month. And here we've got the card of the moon. And the moon is about facing your deepest, darkest fears. It's about, being true with yourself, being honest with yourself, but also it's about recognizing the shadows and what's lurking in the shadows and what's hiding in the shadows. So as much as you are feeling quite confident, and as much as you are feeling like you know exactly who you are, you know exactly what you are, you know exactly what's going on in your life, there is also this element of having to face our fears, having to face scary moments. So we're not saying that April is going to be full of scary moments, but what we are saying is that we have to be aware of ourselves. We have to be aware of what we're going through. We have to be aware of what we're feeling and what nourishment and nurturing we need. And you've got to be putting your needs first before anything else, because otherwise, if you don't, when your fears come to life, when we have to deal with scary moments, we're not going to be strong enough to handle it. We're not going to be able to deal with it. Now, what is lying beneath the surface? And this card has to make me giggle, because the Emperor, he is super strong. He is super confident. He is super aware of himself and super aware of his strengths, if I can say. So this is saying to you, Sage, that you're feeling super confident. And even though I'm talking about facing your fears, you're probably having these thoughts of, oh, no, but that's fine. I can do that. I'm not worried. Bring it on, So you're probably feeling super confident and feeling like it's not going to be a problem. But the problem that we have here, Sage, and I think this is what's coming through, is as much as you are so super confident and as much as you are so super able and you know what you're able to do, there is this part of not taking sufficient care of yourself, okay? And often finding yourself in a difficult or a tricky situation without even realizing it. Okay, and I say that because of this next card. So this next card that we have here is the Five of Wands. This is the card of chaos and conflict. I mean, you can see everybody's fighting everybody. Everybody's against everybody else. And, there's so much going on in this particular card. And this is Spirit saying to you that you've come into this space because you're so used to conflict. You're so used to standing up for yourself. You're so used to putting people in their place that it's become the norm for you. Unfortunately, with that kind of situation, when this becomes the norm for you, it means that we're so focused on proving a point, on proving who's right and who's wrong, that we have neglected ourselves through that process. So what's coming through strongly here for you, say for the month of April, is we have to find a balance, okay? We have to find a balance between who we are, what we are, what's right and what's wrong, what we need to do, what we want to do, all of those kind of things. And trusting yourself is fine. Knowing how super capable you are is fine, but the truth of the matter is we do have to dig deep. We do have to look within those shadows. We do have to look within those deepest, darkest parts of ourselves in order to uncover the truth that may be laying there. Now, the interesting one is this one. This is the card showing what support is available to you while you are facing this darkness, while you are dealing with fears and insecurities. And this is the card of feeling restricted and trapped when actually you're safe and protected. So the Eight of Swords is an interesting card because, I mean, if we look at the lady here, she is clearly bound. She's got a chain around her wrists. She is trapped or caged by these swords, and she's blindfolded. So she's feeling as if she is held captive. But the truth of the matter is there's no padlock, there's no handcuffs, there's nothing here. These chains are just loosely wrapped. I mean, you can see that one's just hanging over her forearm. And these swords around her, they're not keeping her trapped. They're actually keeping her safe and keeping her protected. So it's the way that she's perceiving it because she can't see. But she could quite easily remove that blindfold and see the truth for what it is. And this is Spirit saying to you that, Sagittarius, we've got to make sure that during the month of April, we've got to make sure that we don't start seeing, perceiving, imagining the situation to be worse than what it is. We actually have to take care of ourselves and be honest with ourselves around who we are, what we are, and what we're facing and what we're dealing with in life. And we've got to start saying to ourselves, am I perceiving, imagining the situation to be worse than what it is? Because I'm so used to the chaos, because I'm so used to the mayhem and, the tragedy and the drama and the conflict. Am I so used to that's just the way that I am imagining? Now, coming through is the support that's for you. I think this is Spirit saying that when you feel trapped, caged, closed in, that's actually when you are the safest. That's actually when you can lean on the support that's around you. And that what you think is trapping you or caging you is actually protecting you. So it's about changing your perception, and that is where the self-care comes in. That is where taking care of yourself comes through. So we know that you're super capable. We've got so much evidence of that. But we've also got this evidence of this normality of chaos and destruction and feeling like there's conflict all around us. Now, this one is the one that I found so interesting for you. Seven of Swords. Now, again, we've got the sly little fox down the bottom here. Our character here, he has seen an opportunity. He's grabbed an opportunity. He's taken an opportunity. He hasn't thought about it beforehand. Okay, so he sort of jumped into a situation of taking these swords. Okay, so he saw them just sort of lying on the ground here, not really doing anything, nobody watching over them, and he thought, oh, opportunity. I've always wanted a whole bunch of swords, so I'm going to take them. Nobody's using them. They're just lying there. They're just hovering about. I am going to take advantage. But he didn't think this through very carefully. So you can see that he's got 5 swords sort of under his arm, and he can't carry any more. So he's having to leave 2 behind. And you can see by his face, he doesn't want to do that. He doesn't want to leave these 2 behind. He wishes he could take full advantage. But because he didn't put any planning, because he didn't think this through, he's not actually achieving everything that he wanted to or everything that he needs to. So to me, I always say that the Seven of Swords to me is always a card of planning. Don't just rush into a thing. Don't jump into a thing. So ask yourself, here is an opportunity. I want to take advantage of the opportunity, and you should take advantage of the opportunity. But at the same time, we want to make sure that we take full advantage. And the only way you're going to do that is by sufficient planning and strategy. So Sagittarius, this is Spirit saying, even though you're feeling so confident, he was feeling very confident too. There are certain things that we're going to have to face, which is possibly leaving things behind, not achieving everything that we could, settling for an 80% as opposed to 100%, when we know that you're fully capable of. But because of the conflict, because of the way that you're imagining circumstances and situations, you're not achieving everything that you need to. And April is going to be a strong reminder of that. You're going to have these kind of situations and circumstances coming up over and over and over again. But the lesson here is about taking care of yourself, because if he took care of himself, he wouldn't be in this situation where he can only achieve 80% of the target. If he took care of himself and if he took the time to strategize and plan sufficiently, he would be able to achieve everything that he needs to, and not just 80% of it. So we've got 4 cards left across the bottom here, Sagittarius, and these are going to explain you in a little bit more detail while we go through this experience. And the first card I have here is Knight of Swords. And this is, I mean, first of all, how beautiful is that eagle? So we have our knight and he's sitting on our horse. The horse is beautiful as well. You know, you can see that he's wearing his armor. He's got a shield. He's got a sword. The horse is also protected with the clothing and everything that it needs to. But have a look here. They're about to step off a cliff.
So the Knight of Swords, he's not really thinking this through, okay? He's got a goal in mind and he's like sort of charging ahead and he's saying, you know what, we're just going to go and do this. He hasn't really stopped to think this through very well. And obviously, with the armor that he's wearing, he's a bit limited and restricted in his mobility, in his movement, in his actions. The horse is just doing what it's told as such, okay? And you can see by the horse's legs that there is movement taking place. Now, we can't see what's lying just beyond here. So it looks initially, it looks like he's about to step off a ledge or a cliff, but maybe it's just a little step, and maybe he's confident and he's trained the horse, and maybe the horse is ready to do this. But this card is basically saying to you that the people in your life, your family, your friends, your acquaintances, your colleagues, etc., they see you as somebody who jumps into a situation without much thinking, without much planning, without much forethought. They see you as somebody who is so spur of the moment and so trusting of the situation that you're almost blinded by what's going on around you. You know, I'm noticing here that she's holding a book in her hand, which means that she's got the knowledge, which means she's got the information at her fingertips, but she's trusting her heart space instead of the logical mind activities that's going on. And Sagittarius, this is exactly how people see you. People see you as somebody who says, you know what, I'm just going to do it and we'll figure it out as we go and we'll worry about it as we go. But actually, the truth of the matter is you are actually a strategist. You are somebody who thinks, you are somebody who likes to know for certain what you're getting into before you actually get into it. So it's interesting how we've got this quite a strong conflict here between the way that people imagine and perceive you, the way that you imagine and perceive yourself. And the truth is, you are actually somebody in the middle here, between somebody who comes up with the ideas and likes to think it through. But sometimes in life, we don't always have the opportunity to think it through. Sometimes the opportunity presents itself at a moment's notice, and we need to be able to run. We need to be able to act. We need to be able to do, even if it means we're not accomplishing everything. But I think the truth of the matter is sometimes you limit yourself, restrict yourself, when maybe you shouldn't be so restrictive with yourself. I'm loving this, actually. Loving this. Okay. Advice from Spirit for you here, Sagittarius. We've got the Ace of Cups, and the Ace of Cups is about relationships. It's about connections, it's about people, it's about opportunities. And I think the Ace of Cups is saying to you, Sagittarius, that when you find yourself facing something you've not done before, so during the month of April, if you find yourself doing something you haven't done before, or you find yourself in uncharted territories, maybe you need to lean on other people. You need to find somebody who can help you and who can guide you. Because the advice that Spirit have for you right now is that you don't have to do it all on your own. You don't have to try and figure it all out by yourself. You don't have to only trust yourself in this situation. It's okay to call on help. It's okay to lean on somebody. And isn't it quite interesting in our theme card that she's leaning on the wolf? The wolf is leaning on her, she's leaning on the wolf, and together they are in a yin and yang relationship where it's a give and a take and it's equal. You know, they're both getting something from this relationship, and she's taking care of herself and being kind to herself. And I do think that's exactly the advice that Spirit has for you, Sag, is that, you know what, you don't have to be superhuman all the time. They're superhuman over there. Okay, you don't have to be the one with all the answers. It's okay to say, hey, who wants to help me on this? Who wants to guide me on this? Now, the very, very interesting card for you here is the dreaded death card. So Sagittarius, the death card does not mean death. It does not mean dying. Again, we've got a beautiful horse over here, beautiful white horse, gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. We've got a white lily. We have got wind. We've got movement. We've got action. It's a huge, big shield. And what the death card is symbolizing for you for the month of April 2022 is the way that you go into the month and the way that you come out of the month. You're going to be such a different individual. The experiences that you're going to have during the month, the opportunities that you're going to have during the month are going to help you to evolve, to shift and to change, and to become somebody you would never have imagined. So the death card is about change. The death card is about evolution. It is about transformation. And it is about, change. I mean, it's as simple as that. So we come into the month feeling super confident. Come into the month feeling like, you know what, I can handle anything. Anything you can throw at me, I've got this, I can handle it. But you're going to have events happen during the month that are going to force you to take a better care of yourself, to slow down a little bit, to be more mindful of your activities and your actions, and not feeling like you have to be there for other people, not feeling like you have to navigate and take care of other people. So, and finding a balance between these two characters, these two scenarios, reaching out for help and saying, right, you know what, I'm open to assistance. I'm open to people helping me and guiding me on the journey. And I think this whole process of facing scary moments, reaching out for help, is what's going to bring about the change that is so desperately needed for you. So Sagittarius, I'm feeling quite excited for you, quite excited. Change is inevitable, it's going to happen. Whether you resist or fight it or not, it's going to happen. So you might as well just go along with the flow. And in doing so, you'll be taking better care of yourself. And that is something that is so desperately needed for you right now. Awesome. So Sagittarius, wishing you a month of happiness, of joy and success. With love and blessings from my heart to yours. And until we connect again, take care.